Hi, we're from Pomona High School, and today we're going to be talking about, we're still talking about, we can never stop talking about Walt Whitman, right? And we're going to look specifically in this video at canto number 8, the blab of the pave, right? So we go to, the 4th stanza, and we get the blab of the pave, right? Do you guys see it? It's the longest. We get a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Blab of the pave. Levi, can you read a little bit? The blab of the pave.
Just a section here.
Yeah.
Right. The blab of the pave, tires of carts, slough of boots soles, talk of the promenaders. The heavy omnibus, the driver with his interrogating thumb, the clank of the shod horses and the granite floor, the snow sleighs clinking, shouting jokes, pelts of snowballs, the hurrahs for popular favorites there, for a roused mobs. Where was I?
The flap.
The flap of the curtains glitter, a sick man aside, borne to the hospital. The meeting of enemies, the sudden oath, the blow, and fall. The exciting crowd, the policeman with the star quickly working his passage to the center of the crowd. The impassive stones that receive and return so many echoes. What groans of overfed or half-starved who fall sunstruck or in fits. What explanations of women taken suddenly who hurry home and give birth to babes. What living and buried speech is always vibrating here. What howls restrained by decorum. Arrests of criminals, slight adulteress, offers made acceptance, rejections with convex lips. I mind them, or the show of resonance of them. I come in and I depart.
All right. The blab of the pave. Let's talk about that very first little bit, that first phrase. What does that mean? The blab of the pave. First, let's do the easy one. What's a pave?
I think
a road. Like a road,
like a
right? Talk to us.
pavement.
Yeah, like pavement. So like a street, right?
Yeah.
So the pave is the street or the road or the pavement. What is that? Is blab talk? Do you feel?
Or gossip.
Okay, maybe gossip. What else? Shannon, what's blab? The blab of the pave.
Like, it almost seems as if it could be the monotony.
Okay, the monotony. Levi.
It kind of reminds me like when you see like a fixed up road, it's kind of got like that gooey dark spot almost. That's
Okay.
kind of what it reminds me of.
Okay. Josh.
I kind of interpret it as it's like the annoying noise of the cement of the city kind of life. Just because like blabbing is you're just talking on and no one really wants to hear you, but you're still talking.
The annoying noise. All right. Danielle?
I was thinking like a segment, like the blab of the pavement, so like just like a certain part of this pavement.
Okay. I like the babble, right? And let's talk about the word blab, right? Would Emily Dickinson use the word blab?
No.
No, right? Just like back in, what was it? In Canto 2, right? When Walt Whitman says he belched his words, right? This is a belched word, right? Blab is not, it's vernacular. It's not a one of those words that you're going to put in an essay, really, nice academic word. This is the blab of the pave, okay? And then what's going on in this passage that we just read? What is happening in this scene? We got a bunch of stuff happening.
Looks like it's really busy, and it also seems like it's kind of corrupt. And while there's good things, there's some good things happening, there's also some really bad things. So I guess Walt Whitman doesn't like the city because it's too confusing and overwhelming, and it doesn't make sense.
Okay, well let's circle. Let's not pass judgment on Whitman yet. Let's circle back around to that whether he likes the city or not question later. But you said that there's corruption that you see. Let's find some examples of that corruption.
Adulterous offers.
Okay, that seems very corrupt. Yes, adulterous offers. What else?
The hurrahs for popular favorites, the fury of roused mobs.
Okay, yeah, the fury of roused mobs. What else?
Meeting of enemies.
Okay, meeting of enemies.
The groans of overfed or half-starved.
Okay, overfed or half-starved. There's no in-between, right? There's no middle. Danielle, any?
Howls restrained by decorum.
Okay, howls restrained by decorum.
The sudden oath and the blows and fall.
All right. Now, is there anything good in here that we see that's not necessarily corrupt and evil? And what's good in this passage?
Shouting jokes.
What?
Shouting jokes.
Shouting jokes. Yes.
The arrest of criminals.
The arrest of criminals. We like that. Let's get the criminals off the blab of the page. That's good. Shannon, what else?
Hurrahs for popular favorites.
Okay, so that's interesting because we had on both sides of that one. So maybe we interpret that one different. Nikki.
Giving birth to children.
Sure, yeah. Births are good, right? We like children coming into... Children are good.
Pelts of snowballs.
Pelts of snowballs, yeah.
Acceptances.
Acceptance.
Snow sleighs.
Snow sleighs, right? So we have this dichotomy, right? There's good things that are happening, and there's bad things that are happening. We're going to come back around to whether Whitman likes the city or not later. What form, though, is this passage in? What form of writing?
Poetry.
It is? Yeah, you're right, it is. But what else is it?
It's like a list.
It's a list, right? It's a list. It's a list of stuff. Talk to me about lists.
It all starts with the same word.
It does start with the same word, and then we change the word later on, but we have that repetition of the. What else can we talk about for lists?
Well, they tend to have a purpose.
Okay.
It's not just there. It's like in the end, it's because you're going to do something with it.
So you write a list because you're going to go do something with it. Maybe it's a to-do list, or maybe it's a list of your top 10 favorite YouTube videos, or maybe it's a list of your best friends. I don't know, right? You have a list and you're going to do something with it later.
Yeah, I mean, this list, it almost seems like a list of pros and cons of the city.
Okay, a list of pros and cons. Danielle, what do you think? What do you do with lists?
Just like to organize ideas and like.
Yeah. In a list, I mean, unless you're doing like a David Letterman top 10 sort of deal, right? Are lists, do any items in a list have more, are they better than anything else in a list? In this list, is anything better than anything else?
No, it's all thrown together.
It's just there,
Yeah.
right? It's all inclusive. So once again, what's Waltman doing? What's Whitman doing?
He's belching his ideas.
He's belching his ideas. It's all coming out at once.
He's being all inclusive.
All inclusive, yeah. He throws in the good, he throws in the bad. It's very democratic once again, right? He's including everything, even the ugly stuff, like the adulterous offers and the arrests of criminals and all that stuff, right? We include everything. Okay, now let's talk about. We've gone from nature now into the city. What does Whitman feel about the city?
Well, we talked earlier how he likes the city, like he likes that kind of life, but he also feels like it's intoxicating and he can get stuck there.
Okay. Because of the rooms are filled with perfumes,
Yeah.
right? From
I don't think he wants to spend much time there because the last line is I come and I depart. So he comes and then he just leaves.
I come and I depart. I like it. What else?
I think he likes dealing with like the chaos of the city, but in small doses.
Small doses. I like that, yes. I would agree. Sometimes I get overwhelmed by the city. Right? Danielle, what do you think?
I feel like he thinks the city's like really exciting because of everything that goes on in the city.
Okay. Nikki?
Well, I feel like I agree with Shannon with the I come and I depart, that while he's fine with coming there every once in a while so he has like human interaction and that he's able to experience the bad in order to appreciate the good of nature, he does want to leave because it's just too overwhelming.
Okay. The last thing I want us to look at is in the third to last line. So what living and buried speech is always vibrating here, what howls restrained by decorum. That last little phrase, what howls restrained by decorum, I think is super important. And I want us to talk about what are our ideas in response to what howls restrained by decorum.
It's like what screams are restrained by like pride and how you're like kept up.
Okay.
How you hold yourself.
All right? Let's maybe decorum is the word we need to talk about. What is decorum? Decorum.
Somebody can pop it. You can use it for your phone.
Come.
Yeah, come.
Decorum. Are you gonna look it up? Look it
it's
up.
like
It's like
Let's go ahead.
It's like how you carry yourself.
Okay.
Pretty
How you
much.
carry yourself.
Like how, yeah.
All right. There's a sense of like restriction, isn't there? Like you have to do this, and go ahead and read us the definition.
Oh, okay. So the definition of decorum is behavior in keeping with good taste and propriety.
Okay. So behavior. Read it one more time.
Behavior in keeping with good taste and propriety.
Propriety, right? Good taste and propriety. So let's circle back around when he says, "What howls restrained by decorum?" What does he mean?
Actually, I really like that because I like how they use the word howls because he likes nature, and that's kind of who he is. But
Okay.
it's restrained by the city, like he can't really be who he is in the city.
Okay.
So like howls represent like desires and like what people want to do. Those
Okay.
howls, like what people want to do, is restrained by how they keep themselves and how it's just like how they're perceived in
Okay.
the city.
And maybe what society
Yeah.
tells them to do.
Exactly.
Daniel? What howls restrained by decorum? You want to think about it? We'll come back to you. All right, Wyatt.
So, going back to like Canto 2 and like this idea of sort of belching out,
Yes.
it's kind of like in the city he feels he can't do that. He feels sort of restrained,
By society.
yeah, by
Yes.
society.
One of the synonyms for decorum was decency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're howling, right? Are you being decent?
No.
No, like you're unrestrained, right? You're just howling, right? You're belching. Just like he said in Canto 2, I belch my words. And so he feels this, what howls restrained by decorum, and I think that this is a very meta statement, right? So he's talking about how he's restrained by society, but I think he's also talking to us about how he's been restrained as a poet and how he's breaking away from that. Would Emily Dickinson break away from the decorum of poetry? No, she followed a form, right? It was very, set. But if you look at his poems, are these howls?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are they belches? Yeah, he's just blah. Words on a page, right? Deal with it. Josh, go ahead.
So Whitman kind of, like you said, howls and these things. Like it's kind of, his poetry is almost animalistic, and society kind of and the blab of the pave kind of prevents him from being that animalistic. And he's saying people need to be more, kind of, I guess, Taoist, do whatever comes naturally with the flow, and be like animals rather than.
Go with the flow. Be
humans.
animalistic. Good.
Yeah.
Right. Shannon, any last thoughts? Nope. Nikki?
I find it interesting that the House of Restraint was also technically in the same stanza as the Blab of the Pave.
Yeah.
Because the Blab of the Pave, that's like just talking whatever with the city and all that, so it seems like the city's just doing whatever it wants, and yet the city's able to do whatever it really wants with all its crimes and corruption, and yet Whitman's being restricted. So I guess maybe he thinks it's like unfair that you're doing these terrible things, and yet you're kind of criticizing me and putting me down because I'm a poet and I want to do something different.
Yeah. Last thoughts?
But yes, yeah, I like the whole message. Just it gives in general. It's almost like a theme of just be who you are. Don't care what other people think.
Keeps coming back up over and over and over.
Yeah, I like that juxtaposition that Nikki brought up. How it seemed he depicts the city itself as very loud, and the city sort of belches what it wants. But he feels like that he can't in there because of society and societal norms.
Good stuff. Danielle, any last thoughts?
I really liked what Levi said about like not like caring about what other people think, and you have to like try to like keep an image for everyone else.
Good. Very good. All right, that's all we got. Thanks. Bye.